In the heart of Amofia, a proud and deeply rooted Igbo village, where the wind often carried whispers and secrets from one homestead to another, lived the Okoye family. Known for their unity, wealth, and cultural pride, Chief Arenzo Okoye, a retired civil servant, led his family with an iron hand wrapped in velvet. His wife, Mama Yugo, was the perfect complement, soft-spoken but wise. Their 3 children, Chika, the first daughter and a nurse in Enugu City, Ebuka, a final-year engineering student at UNN, and Edeora, the youngest and most adored, were the pillars of their joy. Edeora was beauty carved from the hands of the gods, skin like golden clay, eyes that told stories, and a smile that melted tension. But what made her special was her heart. Everyone in Amofia adored her. She sang in the choir, danced at festivals, and even cooked for the church's widows. That was until he came. He first appeared one harmattan morning, sitting calmly under the mango tree beside the Okoye compound. Tall, muscular, with an accent no one could place. He wore a simple black kaftan and looked like a dream painted by a desperate artist. His name was Simeon. It was Edeora who found him. She had gone to fetch water when she saw him seated there, reading a weathered book. Curiosity danced in her chest. "Good morning, sir," she said politely. He looked up, smiled slightly, and replied, "You must be Edeora." Her heart paused. "How did you?" She paused. "I heard the women at the stream speaking of your kindness. They said the sun waits to shine until you smile." Edeora chuckled, a little embarrassed, and walked away quickly. But from that day, she found herself glancing at the mango tree more than usual. Simeon claimed to be from Saka, searching for his mother's village after her death. He said Amofia was where she was born. Chief Arenz, ever the hospitable man, gave him a room in their boys' quarters. "He has no family," the chief said one night over dinner. "He can stay here until he finds his roots." It seemed noble. Until it wasn't. Within weeks, Edeora and Simeon became inseparable. He would help her with her chores, tell her stories from his travels, and sing to her beneath the moonlight. The villagers watched, some smiling, some whispering. Mama Yugo began to worry. "Noam, love is sweet, but not every fruit is meant to be eaten," she warned. But Edeora's ears were already full of Simeon's voice. One Sunday after Mass, he proposed. No wine, no elders, no rites, just a ring and a promise. "Marry me," he said, "and we'll leave this place. Start afresh. I want you far from judgment and traditions." Edeora nodded, tears in her eyes. But when she told her parents, hell erupted. "Are you mad?" Chief Arenz thundered. "You want to disgrace this family? A man without a name, a history, or even a proper family introduction wants to carry my daughter like Okpo on the roadside. I love him, Papa." Edeora shouted back. "Love?" Mama Yugo cried. "Is that what blinds you to his lies? That man is hiding something." Even Chika and Ebuka sided with their parents. Chika warned her sister that Simeon never gave full answers about his past. Ebuka even went as far as threatening to beat him up if he stepped near Edeora again. But love, when foolish, wears armor. Edeora became defiant. She stopped going to Mass, stopped eating with the family, and started sneaking into Simeon's room at night. One night, during a heated quarrel, she slapped Mama Yugo. The entire house went silent. That was the night the gods turned their backs. By the next week, Edeora had packed her bags and left with Simeon. She didn't attend Chika's wedding. She didn't show up when Ebuka graduated. Even when Mama Yugo was hospitalized after a mild stroke, Edeora never visited. Chief Arenz refused to speak her name again. "She is dead to US," he declared. The once happy compound grew cold. Visitors stopped coming. Mama Yugo's health declined. The sound of Edeora's laughter became a ghost in the wind. But in Enugu City, things were different. Edeora and Simeon lived in a cramped one-bedroom apartment. The first few months were bliss. He wrote poems, cooked for her, and promised a future with travel and riches. Then he lost his job. Then he started drinking. Then came the bruises. Simeon was not who he claimed to be. He was never looking for family. He was on the run, from death, from theft, from betrayal. Edeora discovered documents in his drawer, a fake ID, a different surname, letters from women demanding money, and even police reports. When she confronted him, he laughed. "You think you're special? You're just the latest naive village girl I fooled." He pushed her to the ground and walked out. That night, she sat alone, bleeding and broken. She thought of her mother, her father, and how far she had fallen. But the worst was still to come. Edeora returned home one rainy evening, soaked and barefoot. She stood at the compound gate like a ghost. No one moved. No one welcomed her. Mama Yugo, already battling a weak heart, stared at her from the veranda. She simply turned and walked inside. Ibuka refused to look her way. Chika, visiting with her husband, turned her face. It was Chief Arenz who finally came out. "You are not welcome here," he said coldly. "Not after what you brought upon us." "I was wrong, Papa. I was blind," she cried. "You destroyed this family for a stranger. Go back to him. That's where you belong." The gate shut slowly in her face. Edeora rented a small room in the village outskirts. She worked at a local chemist to survive. People spat at her shadow, children whispered when she passed, and the choir no longer sang her name. But she didn't blame them. She blamed herself. Every day, she sent food to her mother. Left it at the gate. Wrote letters of apology. Cleaned the church steps every Saturday. One day, word came that Chief Arenz had collapsed during a village meeting. Edeora rushed to the hospital. She wasn't allowed in. She waited outside until the doctor came out. Her father had survived, but he still asked for silence if she entered the room. She sat on the floor and wept like a child. Edeora had rebuilt her life. She now taught children in the village, gave free first aid to the elderly, and avoided any talk of love. Then one evening, just before dusk, a man appeared at the chemist where she worked. Simeon. He looked worn, sickly, and smelled of stale gin. "I came to take you back," he said, smirking. "I know you still love me." Edeora stood in silence. "I thought you died," he said, laughing. She reached under the counter and pressed the silent alarm she had installed months ago. "You don't belong here," she said calmly. "And you never did." When the vigilante boys came, she didn't stop them. Simeon was taken away, never to be seen again. Months later, Chief Arenz fell seriously ill again. This time, Edeora was allowed into his room. She knelt by his side, not saying a word. Just holding his hand. He didn't speak at first. Then, with weak breath, he whispered, "You killed your mother's joy, but you did not kill her love for you." Edeora wept again. For the 100th time. Only this time, his fingers squeezed hers softly. Mama Yugo died in her sleep 2 weeks later. At her funeral, Edeora sang a solo, her voice shaking, her soul trembling. When she finished, Chief Arenz stood up, slowly walked to her, and pulled her into a long, tearful hug. The crowd gasped. Some clapped. Some cried. Redemption had come, but scars remained. Amofia never forgot. But they forgave. And Edeora never destroyed another home again, not even her own.